What is going on, guys? Just giving you guys an update as to what's going on in my life, some of the lessons that I've learned, and the path that I'm taking. And so it's been right about 7 months that I've been out of the military. And, I get asked a lot online, and people that I meet that know that I've recently got out, they ask me, like, hey, do you miss the military? And the answer, honestly, is no. I don't really miss the military. There's nothing to really miss about the military. And a lot of people tend to think that the military is this like grand, unique experience, once in a lifetime adventure, etc. And I went on a thought journey to really try and think, like, is that true? Is that true? Is it that unique? For example, work wise, right? I used to work on an aircraft carrier. You could say, like, well, you get to work on an aircraft carrier. Well, here's the thing: when you're enlisted or officer, you guys, we have the most basic skill sets, right? As to how the machines and the stuff works. We don't have these specialized high level knowledge that you might think. When you think about who creates the designs for these aircraft carriers or tanks or whatever weapons, airplanes, aircrafts, all these different drones, unique stuff, it's not military members, right? Enlisted and officers aren't just in a dark room thinking about different ideas. That's not what we do. We just know the basic things that we need to do to be able to get that thing up and running and to be able to perform the mission that we need it to. Civilians, private companies or public companies, they're the ones who create all these different weapons and things that we use. They're the ones who are more knowledgeable about the equipment, about the military stuff that we use, right? So it's not necessarily that the work is unique, right? Because you could do more military work to a higher level and experience more of that as a civilian, as a contractor for a company, private company, public company, etc. So it's not necessarily that the work is unique to the military. Or you might be thinking, well, is it the traveling, where you get to travel around the world and do all this cool stuff? Well, I was in the Navy. I worked in an aircraft carrier, right? And you could say I traveled, but you could work for a cruise line. You could work for a merchant vessel, a company, and you could still sail around the world. You could still travel around the world. And so it's not that unique, right? If you think about any military thing, there's always a civilian counterpart that does the exact same thing, or if not more specialized, or if not more better, and they get paid a bunch more. And so there really isn't anything unique about the type of work that you do in the military. Well, is it the people? Sure, there are good people in the military, but there are also good people outside of the military. I worked at Hollister in the past. I miss working with the people that I worked at Hollister as much as I miss working with the people that I do in the military. So in terms of people, it's identical, right? I miss working with both people, groups of people. So it's not necessarily the people. When I think about what makes the military so unique, I've come to realize this one thing. As I was, before I joined the military, I would see like these Vietnam veterans wear Vietnam gear all the time. And I initially thought that they just want to show off, right? They've been to war and all that kind of stuff, and they're battle hardened people. But I've realized now that I've been out of the military, they're not really doing it for just some normal people. They're really wearing all that gear to be able to find their friends, other people that have gone through the same time frame, the same experience, the same level of moral and ethical standards of that time. They're looking for essentially their friends. That's the thing. I believe that's one of the key reasons as to why they wear that gear, is to just be able to find their friends, to be able to reconnect with them, to be able to reminisce about kind of the memories that they've had at childhood or their teenage years, or young adult years. And I believe that is one aspect that is a little bit unique about the military, is just kind of the overall experience. Like, no different than, let's say you're in high school and you talk to somebody and they're from the same elementary school and you never really knew them before. You're like, oh shoot, you're from the same elementary school. Or let's say you're in college, or let's say you're not in the, wherever you're at, you find somebody from the same town and you talk about the restaurants that you've been in, the different parks and different places around your neighborhood that you guys have been in, but you guys don't even know each other, but you guys have that instant level of connection and an instant level of trust because you guys have been in this, just grew up in a similar way. Now, you could experience that in a bunch of other things, right? But like, what I believe makes the military truly unique, that is very, very hard to recreate outside of the military ecosystem, is the level of moral and ethical standards that you have to live by. In the military, there's what's called the Uniform Code of Military Justice, right? You are held to a higher moral and ethical standards compared to the normal civilians, right? It's like double. And so, for example, in the civilian world, if you commit adultery, you're just going to get into some arguments, and maybe by law, if divorce happens, right, you're just going to get divorced. But in the military, right, yes, you may go through all that, but at the same time, there's an added benefit of you're going to get reduction in rank, reduction in pay, and also you might be capped in your career. Like, it's going to affect the rest of your life in the military. There's a higher, you're held to a higher standard. And so one of the things that I do genuinely miss is being surrounded by a group of people that are held to a higher moral and ethical standard, that have been proven, battle tested for, let's say, 5 years, 10 years, whatever, to have maintained that level of standard, right? So, for example, if I meet somebody in the military that, let's say I was active duty and they were active duty, and they're like, hey, I got to go to the hospital. Can I borrow your car real quick? My car is in the mechanic shop because I got to pick up my wife. I'd be like, sure, here, just make sure you put gas in. I would have that instant level of trust with even a complete stranger that is within the military, right? Because we are held to a higher standard. I can trust that person because they've been probably good for the last 5 or 10 years, whatever it is. They never got in trouble, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't really be talking to me right now. But in the civilian world, let's say I have a coworker at Hollister. They're like, can I borrow your car to go pick up my wife because they're in my car is in the maintenance? I'd be like, I don't know. Are you a bad driver? Like, why don't you have a car? Like, I don't know. I'm not gonna. No. You good? I'm not gonna do it. It doesn't make sense to me. Maybe if I knew them for a prolonged period of time and I knew their kind of moral standards, right, that I would be able to do that. But instantly off the bat, not really. In the military, like I said, it's a little bit different. That is one thing, as I kind of thought about this, that I would say I do miss, is people who share the same higher moral and ethical standards. That is one thing that is a little bit more unique to the military. I wouldn't say it's not impossible to recreate, because you could recreate that in other organizations, but by law, it's not really duplicatable by law, right, compared to the military. And so that's like the only thing that I would say I miss about the military. But other than that, there's really nothing else that I miss. had to kind of boil down my military experience to kind of understand that. And so, I'm at this weird point in my life where I joined the military when I was 21, turned 22, first day of boot camp, and then, did 8 years now, 30 years old. And I'm about to turn 31 years young this upcoming June. Can you believe it, guys? Like, I'm 31. I'm turning 31. It's crazy if you think about it. And so, I'm thinking a lot on what is it that I want to do with my life. For my late teens and, all of my 20s, I've been very focused and driven by business, right? I was able to make 6 figures in the stock market, multiple 6 figures in business, establish 7-figure companies, which I later sold, left my position as chief operating officer of the startup that I was managing, closedeals.com, back in September, to start my own company, have my own students and clients where I get paid. And then now I'm pursuing higher academics, higher education, by trying to go to an Ivy League. And I've been investing a lot of time and energy into just trying to be a best academic as possible. And I've been able to connect with a lot of veteran alumni at Princeton as well as Harvard. And so my current goal right now is to be able to attend Princeton in 2025. And this June, towards the end of June, I'm going to Harvard for a week because I got invited to their workshop for humanities. And so I'm going to attend that and see if in the future if I can attend Harvard. And so I've turned this weird path from entrepreneurship to more of an academic path. And entrepreneurship wise, even now, like I still have a bunch of people that I've done business with in the past that are asking me like, hey, come join my team. Let's grow another 7-figure company together. And it would be easy for me to do that, right? But it's not something that I currently find a lot of fulfillment and enjoyment out of. And I've wondered, like, why is that? Like, it would be easy for me to just say screw it to school and just continue growing different businesses and get paid a lot of money. But why don't I want to do that? Well, I've done it a couple times now, and I've realized that when I was growing up, obviously, I've experienced a lot of financial hardships from my parents, just seeing their level of pain. And I became a byproduct of that, right? Business was never the thing that really interested me, but it's something that I became interested in because of the financial situation that my family was in. But now that I've been able to achieve a level of financial stability and buy my parents a house and do all that kind of stuff, and I'm thinking, like, what do I want to do in my 30s? And I'm attending church a lot more, and I'm praying, and I'm thinking, like, how can I live a more God-centered life and be able to help more people out there? What do I feel really passionate about? What do I really want to do? And as I was just formulating all these different thoughts over the course of a couple of weeks or months now, I've come to realize that one of my kind of natural or God-given or natural abilities in life is to be able to understand a difficult information in a way that is so simple for me, and for me to explain that information in a simplified way to be able to teach other people. And I believe a lot of you guys resonate with that message. That's why you guys are kind of watching these videos. And I believe that is a skill, a talent that is unique to me. That is a gift that I have. And one of the things that I've been increasingly become interested is just kind of like how I should live my life. And in this so difficult world I try to simplify my life in a way where I continue to maintain a high level of financial success. I continue to maintain a high level of happiness, just doing the things that I find enjoyment and fulfillment out of, while being able to help a lot of people along the way, which gives me purpose. And so I believe the next path for me in pursuing higher education, I'm leaning towards philosophy slash humanities, is to be able to take kind of my gift and all the experience that I've been able to accumulate from military as well as growing some businesses, to be able to share and teach other people kind of what I learn along the way, and what I believe to be true. And what I'm hoping for is at the end of my life, uh, I'm hoping to have created a body of work where it's definitely never going to be perfect, but it's going to be simplified enough. It's going to be so simple enough where I show and I explain by actually living it how to just live life and be able to be happy, truly happy, be able to live a fulfilling life, be able to live a financially fulfilling life as well, being able to help those that you love along the way as well. And just doing that in the most simplified way, and being able to explain that in a simplified way, because I truly feel passionate about that, because it's something that I wish I currently have, and something that I wish I had even when I first started my journey, 10 plus years ago. And so as I continue to walk down this path, to achieve a level of, you know, greatness or success, I'm going to continue sharing with you guys kind of what I'm going through, the struggles, the positives, the ups and downs, the lessons that I learned, and kind of what I believe the direction that I should be taking in life. I'm hoping that this is a good start to that journey. So I appreciate you guys, and yeah, thanks for sticking around and living life with me. Peace.